Hi guys, and in this video I'm going to take you through how to use the if statement. So I'm going to create a new WPF application. Choose WPF as the project type. Give my project a name. And it is important to make sure you do name your projects because it's a lot harder to rename them later and there can be some complexities with that. Okay, so Visual Studio has gone ahead and created my project. You're probably going to notice that I have a few more controls in my list here than what you have on your computer. That's okay. I'm using one of my home computer builds here for these demos, so there will be some subtle differences here. But I will also just use the standard controls, so these will be the ones that you'll be able to find on your computer in the classroom. Let's make a start by talking a bit about what the project's going to do. So in this one, what we're going to have is we're going to have a text box and a button. And we're going to put in a temperature. Now if the temperature is over 30 degrees, we're going to say that we should be wearing shorts today. And if the temperature is under 30 degrees, we're going to say you should be wearing long pants. So it's a simple one, but it's an easy one to understand, and we'll get started with it now. So I'm going to add a text box, and I'm going to add a button to my projects. And like I do with all my projects, I'm going to name these controls first before I actually go ahead and write some code. So I'll call the button temp, and I'll also change its content, which is a label that appears on the button. And I'm going to do the same idea with the text box. I'm going to click once on it, select it, and change its name from text box 1 to text box temp. That's it for the UI. I don't really want to make it any more complex than that. Now we've named the controls, I can go ahead and add some code. And the first bit of code I'm going to add is, in fact, the click event for the button by double-clicking on it. Okay, double-click on the button has got me into the code view, and now we can see that the cursor is sitting inside the click event for the button. Now I'm going to enter my temperature into a text box. So, for example, I put 30 degrees. And that's going to be a string, because remember, text boxes treat anything that's put in them as a string. Of course, what I'd really like it to be is a number, because that would make it easier for my if statement. So before I do anything else, I'm going to convert what's been put into the text box into a number. And I'm going to do that by creating a variable, which I'm going to use as an integer. So I'm going to work with whole numbers, so 30 degrees, 31 degrees. I'm not going to worry about 31.5. And I'm going to call that variable temp, and I'm going to say it equals the value that's in the text box. So to do that, I'm going to use the convert function, and I'm going to say convert to int 32, which will cover quite a wide and large number of numbers, and then I have to put in what actually is going to be converted, and that's going to be coming from the text box temp control dot text, and I finish off with a semicolon on the end. So now I've got the temperature from the text box, and I'm storing it in a variable called temp. Now I'm ready to go ahead and use my if statement to see what the user's put in. So I'm going to type if and press tab twice. By pressing tab twice, I get the condition already created for me with a default of true, and I also get the left and right curly brace for where we actually want to write what's going to happen, or the action, if our condition is true. So we want to check to see what's stored in the variable temp, for example, is equal to or greater than 30. Now, if you wrote it like that, that's how you would have been taught at school, I'm sure, and that's how I was too, but just to make things a little bit complicated. In fact, in .NET we do it this way. We put the greater than sign first, and then we put the equal sign. So what's going to happen now is if that proves to be true, say for example we put in 31 degrees, then our compiler is going to look at what we write here where the cursor is to see what we want to do. So this is the true part of our if statement. I'm going to go ahead and just do a message box in this example. I'll do message box.show, and we'll just put wear shorts and a semicolon to finish. And that's the end of the true part of our if statement. Of course, there's another possibility, which is someone's entered a temperature that is in fact less than 30 degrees, in which case we want to give a different response. So for that, I'm going to need to use the else. I'm going to go below the right curly brace, which closed off our true component, and I'm going to do else and press tab twice. Now I'm in the part that we do if the condition is false. In this case, it's less than 30 degrees. So I'm going to put out a message box, tell our user that they need to wear long pants, and finish off with a semicolon on the end. And that's my if statement. Let's give it a run and see how it works. I'll press F5. Now on my computer I have more than one screen, so you won't be able to see this. I'll just have to drag it across for you. There we go. There's our main window. Let's try first of all to see what happens when we try a temperature that's 30 degrees or higher. So I'll put 31 and click the temp button, and it tells us to wear shorts. Let's try adjusting the temperature down to 29. And we have to wear long pants. And that's it. I hope you found it useful.